I don't pick a song without it being applicable to what we're going to talk about today. So if you've never heard of it and don't know the lyrics, it is Euphoria by Kendrick Lamar, and it was during the famous beef, rap beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. I could have played They Not Like Us, but everybody does that. So I decided to pick. I had another song altogether, and then I realized that was lowering myself, but I might play it on the way out because when you go to the gutter, I can go to hell. It's no problem. So, good morning, good morning, good morning to everyone. I appreciate you being up here early. So, I'm going to be honest, today may go longer than normal because we have so much. It's so much that I had to push some scammers to Friday because there was no way I could get it done in 3 hours. So, today we're going to talk about Kesha because she's back at it. Of course, TNA, I have an update on Amanda. This is Heather, sister in faith. I talked about her some months ago when I considered her a bolo, but she has done so much since then. There's no bolo. And you guys know how I hate when people use God and religion to manipulate people. It irks my nerves. You have Timothy Nash and his wash, rinse, repeat. We have Pookie, who claimed she wasn't going to beg anymore and then went right back to begging. Of course, we are going to do the bracket, and I got to tell y'all, that took some time. But I hope you enjoy it. And so how we're going to do the bracket is, if you aren't familiar with the way the NCAA does it, they give everyone a number. If they think you are the best, you're a number one. And if they think you're not so good, you get the lowest number, which in this case is an 8. So 1 goes against 8, 2 goes against 7, etc., etc. We have 4 areas. And so the goal is that you guys, we're going to do a poll. And we're going to do it quickly so we can get it done quickly. But you're going to pick if it's the one name or the other to move on to the next bracket. And then on Friday, we're going to do the 8s until we get to the 4, the final 4. And those final 4 we will all take next week to make sure that we document every mod and every enabler so we can be ready for the August 18th Digital After Dark, where we're calling out enablers. We're calling out the scammers, their enablers, and their mods. Mods especially. Because how can you sit there and hear the same things we hear, and you not only don't find anything wrong with it, but then you block the truth, you mute the truth. If what that person is doing is okay, why do you need to do that? And I'm sorry, I miss Sheena as well. That's going to go fantastic, I'm sure. So, do me a favor, if you are a member of the team, hit the Daily Heart Me. If not, and you're not sure, stick around. And if you like what you hear and see, hit the Daily Heart Me and join the team. Now, today might get really tough. Good morning. Thank you. Today might get a little tough. And I know some people are going to be unhappy with what I say and what I talk about. So what you said, damn, the grid isn't very colorful today. It is not. But the grid is based on who I've watched lately. So this is who I've watched lately. Um, Dang, what was I going to say? So there are probably going to be people who want the live taken down. So first things first, can somebody pin my comment? This is the backup. Go follow it. She sure did. Um, this is my backup. Wait, are any mods even in here? I don't even know if any of them are here yet. Okay, I'll do it myself. This is the backup. Oh, hey, Erica. Hey, Sherry. Good morning. Okay, you guys are here. Thank you. Um, is Princess here? Just in case. Good morning, little bit. Just in case they decide to try and take me down. We already have a place to go. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome in. I thank you guys for waking up early. Today is going to be a roller coaster ride, I promise. You don't want to leave today. And I don't never say that, but you might want to stick around for today. I have updates. I have some raising the consciousness. We have the bracket. It's going to be a phenomenal day. Now, I don't want you to forego anything in your real life for this, because as always, this will be posted to YouTube and you'll be able to watch it at your leisure. So please don't forego anything that's more important. This is TikTok. Thank you. Thank you for the follows. This is TikTok. And everything on here can wait until what you need to do gets taken care of. Okay? So, this is the ask. Every time we change a photo, please like the live until you see the heart. Keep liking the live until you see the tail, feel the heart's tail, and then take a break. If you want to do so after the fact, be my guest. I appreciate it. I don't care about the number at the end. I only care about being able to stay live. That's it. Okay. Hey, disturbed one. Who did I say I wanted to start with? Let's start with Pookie, because why not? So Pookie, who went live, and mind you, she keeps changing her name as if changing her name changes her history. I love when people do that. What is changing your name supposed to do? Oh, okay, Sheena. I mean, not Sheena. Damn, Sherry. Whoo! Freudian slip. Girl, don't ever do that. Good morning, good morning. So, after you made a whole video about how you weren't going to beg on here anymore because you didn't like getting called a scammer, etc., 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 you changed your name, you made a new backup, and then what? Right, Bella, she doesn't even understand the implication of calling herself a Pookie. Because, girl, just that you took that on without knowing what people think and say about Pookies is unbelievable to me. Like, you are dragging yourself through the mud. And then to say, I'm Pookie, bitch? Really? Well, that was her for damn near 24 hours, TikTok president. She needs a coat and shoes. So, hold on. Let me turn to the page. She has a job, y'all. She works. She works. I don't know if it's part-time or full-time, but I know she's getting subsidies for her rent. She may be getting food stamps. And then for a period of time, she was begging to claim that she was helping neighbors. And now it's just, I'm begging for myself. I need shoes and a winter coat. And she wants $100. Now, you claim you're going to show us what you purchased. But if you want me to believe you, you need to show me the coat and the shoes and show that they come out to $100. Because for all I know, she could have went to a resource center, got new shoes, got a coat, and says, here's the coat. She's like, oh, I'm going to show you the receipt. You can show us what you plan on buying now. But you could also look for resources within your community to see if you can get a coat. You could get a winter coat from the Salvation Army or Goodwill. And let me just tell you, there are people that make their entire aesthetic based on getting clothes that were worn by somebody else. There's nothing wrong with it at all. When you don't have the means, but you have the need, you do what you have to do. You don't do what you want to do sometimes. You do what you have to. But she slipped because at one point, let me get it right, that she needed new shoes. So my question is, what happened to last year's winter clothes? You don't have them anymore? They don't exist? They can't last one more winter so that you can work and save up again? And you all know that I lived in a winter climate in Connecticut for the majority of my life. Very rarely, unless it was size dependent, did I need a new coat, that I needed new shoes. Most of the time it's because that's what I wanted. There was a new style, there was a new coat, there was, if I was going to be outside a lot, I had this big, I looked like the Michelin Man. It was a man's coat, and it was, what do you call it? It was tan or off-white, and it was so filled with, feathers and down material to keep me warm that I used to use that when I had to plow the snow out of the driveway because I wasn't paying anybody else to do it. It was going to be me. But then I had a coat for when I was going to be in the car. So if I was going from my house to the car to work, I didn't need that kind of a heavy coat. Now, if someone is coming from a warm climate and going to a climate like that, I could understand. It makes sense. You are not prepared. But at this point, you've been wearing the same North Face fleece jacket for 4 years. Exactly. People who live in the winter, they have something. It might not be exactly what you want. And so then the question is, did it get ripped? Did the down feathers come out? Are there holes in the pocket? Like, why do you, and $100? It's oddly specific when you're not sure what you're getting yet. I agree. Wait, who was that? I agree with you, Green Eyes. His queen, so do I. And I'm happy about it. When I tell you I donated everything that said winter, you've had your chemical for 18 years. See, when you buy for longevity, you don't necessarily buy the cheapest thing on the market. You buy something that's going to last. But it doesn't necessarily require that you spend $200 or $300. It just means that you get quality. And you get quality when you can afford it. Otherwise, utilize the resources. The idea that other people should make sure that you stay in the newest and the latest and the fashionable is crazy to me. And then there's no entertainment. There's no conversation. It's literally like, welcome in, hello, such and such. Can anybody donate? This is my PayPal. Here's the email. It is literally a broken record. If she had been doing this longer, she's Maggie's cousin. Right, Sherry? Exactly right. Chelsea, I don't know either. But again, a pattern of scammers is they try to give you an artificial limit. So somebody came in there last night and was like, wait, what? I thought you had to leave by 6. And she's like, oh, they changed it. I got to go to work tomorrow. Okay, why you ain't come in here and say that? Because I don't know what they think. Do you think that the people who come in are brand new every time and you can just spout out your mouth whatever you want it to say? Assuming that the people who were in there in the last live and the live before that and the live before that didn't hear what you said? Right, Green Eyes. So then if you're going to be working more hours in October, get a winter coat then. Get a new coat then. You know what you did if you didn't have a big coat? You layered the hell out of yourself. But she wants rides to and from work, and I mean Ubers, not catching the bus. She wants, oh, I need a new winter coat. TikTok can pay for it. Yesterday, I came across a young woman, and her entire content is utilizing elements around her home to make masks. It literally is like she is a professional special effects makeup artist. She uses a lot of pantyhose to like cover her hair, to cover the... When this girl has made herself into a telephone, and I mean just her head. She's made herself into a telephone. She made herself in... What's that new craze with the little bears? Good morning, thank you. With those little bears that everybody's going crazy for, that used to be $15 and now they're hundreds of dollars. Yep, Labubu. She made her head into a Labubu. She is fantastic. She doesn't say a lot. In fact, I don't remember her saying anything. She just makes the video, posts it, and walks away. She utilized her skills and her passion to make content. And she is absolutely in the creator fund, for sure. Now, we'll never know if she started this because she needed money. She had bills to pay. But she figured out how to attach her skill, her passion with what would be popular on TikTok. And anything can be popular on TikTok. I saw a girl reading to people the other day. But the idea that your platform and your page was created just so that you could beg money out of other people and then be surprised when you don't get it, be angry, be hateful, for what? And the thing is, she's gotten money in the past, so you would think she would remember that and again be thankful and appreciative. But it seems like the more help they get, the more entitled they feel and the less they appreciate it. What you used to do for me isn't enough anymore. I need you to be brand new. And it's happening with most of them. Maggie especially. And I was having this conversation yesterday. Thank you, Granny Annie. I appreciate it. Maggie has a deficiency, but she is by no means stupid. She can travel all over the country on her own. She can make her reservations. She's able to look on a calendar and find events she wants to attend months in advance. She's not stupid. She just has a deficiency. The same way Faith isn't stupid. She has a deficiency. She has an actual illness. But she's not stupid. And so I'm sitting around watching people treat her like she is bedbound. She can't think. What did that lady who was supposed to be representing her say? That she had the mind of a 12-year-old? Then she shouldn't be on TikTok. She shouldn't be able to make any financial decisions. Would you have your 12-year-old running a platform like that? And if she had the mind of a 12-year-old, it would be any and everybody she liked that got her gifts, not just the people who could say her name and make her more popular. Hey, Trolla. So, yeah. As long as she's begging, there will always be a spot on the grid. Girl, get your act together, or else you'll be here. That's that on that. Sorry, guys. I'm looking for something in particular. I should have just re-downloaded it. That's what I should have done. Okay, so since we're almost at a good number, I want to just talk about a couple of things real quick. So, as everybody knows, I gave Caught in 4K 48 hours to make a decision. To make a decision. Are you going to continue to support someone that we all find to be vile? Or are you not? because the tent is very wide, but it is not wide enough for anybody to say that they are there to try to stop people from being taken advantage of and then support someone that takes advantage of people. This is caught in 4K. Now, both Fallon and Scam Slam can come forward and say that I did not know that Caught in 4K was also Sour Patch. I don't investigate people on this side of the aisle because I'm assuming they're doing it for the right reasons. I'm not looking you up. I'm not trying to find your past. When new people come along, I always go in, I let them know that they're doing the good work and to keep it up. And I will even gift. Keep it up. I want you to know that the community supports you. But I don't pull punches. And what's interesting is I never even said her name. The fact that other people knew who I was talking about is because other people knew. It wasn't a secret. So we had a conversation. And I told her exactly how I felt. I wasn't mean. I wasn't nasty. Good morning, Scam Slam. I wasn't mean. I wasn't nasty because you know that's not my style. But I was firm. And I explained why I thought it was wrong. Now, I don't represent the entire tent. I represent the little corner that I stand in. But if I'm going to support you, then I feel like I have an obligation to say, hey, listen, what you're doing isn't right. And I will publicly unsupport you. Because we call balls and strikes over here. It doesn't matter who it is. If I don't like what you're doing and I think that it is a distraction to the community, I'm going to say it. That is why I have my own platform and I can turn my own light on and talk about it. But let's be clear. I told her she's an adult. It is her platform. She can literally do whatever she wants. But understand that the true people who are going to support you in the long run aren't going to ride for that. They're going to go find somebody else. So I won't get into details about what I said and what she said. But what I will say is that she said she hadn't thought about it like that. And I told her, think about it. And then make your decision. She came on later that night and she didn't have a lot of people in her live. Which isn't a result of what I said. It's a result of what happened. And she said that she's not allowed to stream Sheena anymore. Those words never came out of my mouth because I'm not in a position to tell you who you can and cannot stream. I was just telling you why I thought what you were doing was wrong, but then said you could keep doing it if you want to. If that's what you find appealing to your audience, do what you do. Just understand that people who are here for the real are not going to like that. They're not going to put up with it. You're going to lose your audience. It wasn't until after that, after I found out what she was doing over there, that I found out who she used to be and some of the vile things she used to say. I didn't know who she was. Bear down. A lot of people, I don't say that I'm awareness either. I say that I raised the consciousness, right? But when you create an audience based on people who are in the awareness tent, whether you call yourself awareness or not, You have a responsibility to the people who follow you, who sit there, who gift you. Period. Even though I don't call myself awareness, I'm still in the awareness tent. I'm in the anti-scam side of TikTok. I have a responsibility. So when you have hundreds of people in there watching while you talk about the very scammers that we talk about in this tent, you have a responsibility to those people. So gifting her so she's not begging is wild. Granny Annie, neither did I. I literally just found out because I don't bother. If you're in the tent, and I think, especially when you're new, I expect there to be mistakes. I still make mistakes to this day. It's how you rise from it that makes the difference. So rise from it. Be who you want to represent, and you'll get people back. So that's that on that. Apparently she feels like she can't even stream Sheena. And I just want to be 100% clear. Sorry, I read a comment and now it threw me off. Oh, I in no way, shape, or form told her that she couldn't stream Sheena. I gave her my opinion about gifting her, but then very clearly said it's your platform. You can do what you want. Don't worry, Ashley. We're getting there today. Yes, please keep the chat respectful. We know that everybody here is welcome. And everybody, it's okay to have a differing opinion. She's not the only one that bullies. Okay, so that's thing one. This is thing two. So, I made it clear in having a Senior Moments Live, I don't know, a week or two ago, that if Miss May was going to be a friend to the platform and be in there, I couldn't be. Because while she may have unblocked some people or unmodded herself for a second, Miss May has had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to know exactly who he is. And she was like, thank you for the information, but I'm still going to support him. Correct, Erica. Thank you. Is Princess here yet? Yes. Good morning, love. I just wanted to make sure you were here. Okay. And I came over here and expressed that to y'all too. Now, I wasn't saying that I didn't think having a senior moment wasn't a good streamer. I just said that myself, I can't be over there. But it wasn't about like what she does on a regular basis. It was strictly because she allows Miss May and call in her chat and calls her a friend. And why was I so offended by that? Because Miss May is traveling from one scammer to the next, and she's also alerting them when there is a person within the community in their chat. Now, I can't stop you from watching. I can't stop you from watching on a burner and watching from the outside. I can't do that. But I'm certainly not going to give you an invitation to the table when I know you're going to stab the table mates, the people sitting around you in the back. Not going to do it. Well, right, especially Tim Nash. But she's talking to others. She's in others' lives. So, and she went right back to blocking the truth, the whole shebang, asking people to send him money. Oh, have you and your husband reached your limit? So now you want other people to spend money? And then, to add insult to injury, you tried to change your name, which is Hakuna Matata now. And I think she actually has a third account. But because Tim is who he is, he keeps blowing up her spot every chance he gets. Again, never bet on a scammer, okay? But I'm going to add to that, never bet on an enabler. Never bet on a mod until they show you definitive and consistent proof that they're out. How mod for a scammer, but being over here with us? You know. Well, over time, and I think it happened very quickly because other people expressed to her some of the things she was doing. Having a senior moment ended up blocking her. And what does Miss May do in response? Harass the hell out of her. Email her constantly. And then someone, and I don't know who it was, decided to dox her and her husband. You guys know how I feel about doxing. I won't even dox a scammer. There is no way I'm going to dox somebody who is trying to have the same effect on the community as I am. I find it disgusting. I don't care who you are. Now, I don't know if it was Miss May or somebody else, but let me be clear. Just because I disagree with somebody and what they do doesn't mean that I want them to be doxxed. Doesn't mean that I don't still value the person. It was unnecessary to do. Like, what did you... Okay, so you've doxed her and her husband. Now what? Now, do I lean on the side that it might have been Miss May? Probably. But that's just my opinion. I have no proof one way or the other. But just sending her nasty messages. And she's tried to block her on everything. And she still won't stop. That is what happens when you bet on a scammer, mod, or enabler until they have truly proven themselves. And we have many ex-mods who are now a part of the community. But they proved over time that they were no longer about it. So it's not about not accepting an ex-mod, but usually they're an ex-mod first. I'm not jumping on any bandwagon while you still continue. And the idea that we want you to remain a mod so that you can unblock people and block. Y'all realize that blocking is symbolic, right? If you have another account that they don't know about, guess what? You get to watch them anyway. It's just symbolic. The account that people know you by can't be in there. That doesn't mean you can't watch. I don't know who did it, but if I'm going to say that I don't like the fact that Miss May was a friend to her audience or to her, I'm going to say it even louder, that doxing her is disgusting. And I really, truly am praying and hoping that it wasn't a member of the community that's over here. Right, Disturbed On. I don't like it. And if I ever find out that someone who is over here turns out to be a doxer, you won't have a seat. Now, again, me blocking you is symbolic. But you won't be able to be over here under any name that we know you by. People have a right to maintain their anonymity. It's an app. But as I said to her, at least once you're doxxed, you're doxxed. Do I think it should happen again? No. I find it deplorable. I find it vile. Because you don't like someone, you're going to dox their information. Are you okay? Do you need help? Shell, yes, but it's about specificity. So if I know that someone lives in Miami, Florida, and they've said, I live in Miami, Florida, that's not doxing. But if I'm putting your address in the chat, if I'm making one of my burner accounts your telephone number, then yes, that is doxing. If they've never said their name on here, yes, it's doxing, unless it's public information. Agreed, Darlene. Agreed. It's not okay. All right. So that's out the way. There's more to come, though. Trust me. There's more to come. So some of you may not know her. And again, y'all know I take pictures from lives or videos. She just happened to make this face and I said, snap, snap. But this is Heather, sister in faith. And I talked about her months ago. And at the time I was calling her a bolo. Because she was begging, but also saying things like, God will make a way, I'm not worried. And then talk about God. And eventually wind herself back to what she needed. So I told you guys about her back then. She has a twin sister. She also has another sister. And they don't get along. They get along long enough to have another fight. That's the God's honest truth. I do not understand why TikTok isn't your therapist. TikTok is not going to lift you up so that you figure out how to be a better human being. It's social media. And if you don't already have a strong constitution, it's going to eventually tear you apart. But what gets me, as you all know, is that when people use God as a part of their beg, it pisses me off. Yes, I need to see some tapping, y'all. So she and her sister traveled across the country. They were in California. They traveled across the country to see their other sister and then got into it. Well, Heather here was able to get enough money together that she brought her own car. But of course it was trash. Now her fiance is locked up because, wait, let me change that. He is locked up. I don't know why. And I didn't try to find his name to find out. But what she has said is that she needs an immigration lawyer for him because he is not here legally. But I don't know if that's why he was arrested. I can't say. I just know she was looking for an immigration attorney to assist him. She doesn't work. And I love when people don't put any action behind their words and then says God is going to make a way. There's a scripture that says faith without works is dead. So what that means is you can have the faith of a watermelon. You could have the faith of the globe. But if you're not putting any effort behind it, what are you asking God to bless exactly? Your laziness? You're asking God to say, you don't have to do a single thing. I'll do all the lifting. When you go back in the Bible to the story where the Egyptians were chasing the Jewish people and they got to the Red Sea, had they stayed on the banks because they didn't have faith, they would have been unalived. So they had to step out on faith. They had to show God that they trusted him. It didn't just happen because God was going to make a way. Of course he did. But they had to put their foot in the water first. And then they had to have faith that it wouldn't collapse on them until they got to the other side. You have to do something to give God something to bless, if that's your belief system. But coming on TikTok and saying, I need you to put me in hotels. I need you to repair my car. I need you to get me another car so that I can go back to California, so I can get back with the sister that I just beefed with, while you sit down and do nothing, is crazy. And of course, there's a dog. Of course. There's always a dog. Then she says that one of her friends, and guess who was in there? Oh, having a senior moment, I 100% said that. And I also made it clear that somebody doxing you is absolutely unacceptable. And you will always be welcome here. So, guess who was in there though? Angel Girly, Tequila Girl, Boo Bear. Why are you everywhere there's a scammer? Are you watching us to find out who the scammers of TikTok so you can go in there? Lori Jones does that sometimes. She'll go into a scammer's live and tell them people need to mind their business. If you're not like them, if you're nothing like them, why are you in there and encouraging them? Make it make sense. But anyway, she said one of her friends put her in a hotel and she wishes that person was her mom. She said she wasn't going to pay attention to the haters and then proceeded to block them and talk about it. If you're not going to pay attention, then don't pay attention. But they say it for the sake of saying it. They don't really mean it. She said her stomach was in knots because she needs to sell her car and buy a new one. And that she hopes to get assistance from her fiance's mom and this mysterious friend. But then she says the mysterious friend has already spent a ton of money. So that you don't have to work? So that you can just drive around? Go from place to place? And then she said that her sister, who has gone back to California, and she did say where she was in California. Oh, hey, All For One, I'm sorry I didn't see you. That her sister is already over there, homeless, living in her car. I don't think so, but of course I don't know for sure. Right, Glory? I know exactly what car I want. Who's gonna buy it? Like, what? And then she starts to rail on her one and only child, I believe. Again, why are you bringing what's happening within your family to the internet? Because then when people have opinions about it, we're supposed to mind our business. How can we do both at the same time? You tell us our business, but we're supposed to mind it. Really? Right, princess. She said he blocked her because she was rude to him once. I doubt it. And then she felt like his dad turned him against her. What's crazy is the friend who has covered most of her expenses lives in Pennsylvania. But good morning. But she couldn't even say where in Pennsylvania she lived. She didn't know. So you mean to tell me that the person who's been funding you the most, you don't even know anything about her? If that doesn't tell you who these people really are in real life, in real time, nothing does. But this was the kicker of it all. November the 7th, 2024. Which is 1 month from yesterday, she did a video saying that begging on TikTok, hold on. She said that begging on TikTok was wrong. Excuse me? By the way, Heather Sister in Faith and at Sister in Faith is her at. You can go over there and look for her November. I think it came up as like this is what you said last year. I think. But how ironic that just a year ago, you did a video saying that begging on TikTok was wrong, and yet here we are. You know what? Erica, you ain't right. Ashley, not only do they say they're garbage, a lot of them will block you because they already know what's there. They don't want resources, they want cash. So, like, saying off for one's name or saying a link tree is like you curse them out. Because they don't actually, because this is the thing. Most of them know what resources are available. And in some cases, they already have those resources. What they want is cash. Because they want to be able to do what they want to do when they want to do it without having to be accountable to anybody. When you get resources from the state, the city, a nonprofit, you have to be specific. In most states, you can't use your food stamps to go to McDonald's. And now, some states are enacting that you can't even buy prepared desserts or soda with your food stamps any longer. So if I'm on food stamps and I want soda, guess what's going to happen? I either have to have cash or I'm going to have to beg for the cash. They want what they want for a reason. She says that she's lost. But honey, at your big age, it's not lost. It's called immature. It's called not wanting to take responsibility for your life. We have been doing this over a year now. This isn't lost. This is a failure of taking responsibility for your life. That's what this is. So I think I'm going to do a couple more and then we're going to get to it. Oh, let's do this. So I have another update for you guys when it comes to Miss Amanda. Princess, that's hilarious. Put an ear tag on yourself. For fact. So this is going to be Amanda Bowden, update number 3. So we all recall that these were the charges. Her bond was cash, and it was $10,000. Well, this is just an update for you. She was bonded out on 10/7 at just before noon yesterday. Yes, this is all very recent. You can see 10/7/2025. That was yesterday. She was bonded out by somebody named Frida Goff. Now, I'm not doxing anything because as you can see, the release comments say bonded out by. All I did was double click on it, copy it, and put it in the search bar, and that's what it said. The bond type, also I did the same thing, and it says third party surety. So in Kentucky, a surety bond by a third party is a written contract where a surety company, and in my mind, bail bondsman, like that's how I think about it, guarantees that a business or individual will perform a contractual obligation or comply with regulations protecting the recipient of the bonds. This 3-party agreement ensures the obligee that if the principal fails to fulfill their duties, the surety company will step in to cover damages or ensure completion, often protecting against financial loss from noncompliance, fraud, or poor performance. So, good morning. So what this means is that a third party came in and gave her the majority of the bonds. They covered it. And in return, she has to live by their rules, whether it's checking in regularly, making sure that she goes to court on the day she has court, etc. Now, we have no idea when her next court date is because her case was handed over to the grand jury. So until the grand jury either drops the charges or defines what the charges will be going forward. Hold on. Gotta do the puzzle piece. Okay. She is a free woman. Now, wait a minute. Okay. Sorry. Did I not download that page? I guess I didn't. So I looked up a Frida Golf in Kentucky, and this is what came up. It's not even the same spelling, but what I found interesting is that she lived in Bedford, Kentucky, which is counties away. But I don't know if that's the same Frida. I just thought it was interesting that it was 3 counties away. Now, Frida Golf could also be, which I didn't find, but Frida Golf can also be the name of the company of the third party that did it for her. But all of our hopes of her being in there and hopefully getting assistance, being monitored, being away from Frank, all dashed. Who, Amanda Bowden or Frida Golf? Oh, Bail Bond Company. It could be. It absolutely could be. But I know we all had an expectation that she would be there. And I wanted... Oh, it would have to be... Well, it says a third party. I don't know. But while you don't have a bail bondsman, there are surety companies in Kentucky. No. She was arrested. Her case is... And these were the charges. Drug paraphernalia to buy or possess a controlled substance. And in this case, it was methane. She had a bond of $10,000. But she is now out. So I thought I would give you guys that update. Because I didn't see it anywhere else. She was bonded out yesterday just before noon. You don't have to believe me. Go look it up yourself. But bound to the grand jury, the charges, those like bluish screenshots are from the website. Correct you. I don't think she moved there not too long ago. But, right, Maya Angelou. But, what I can say is she can't leave. I don't know how long you've been there. And I don't know who you're with. But if you thought about running back to Maine, that wouldn't be a good idea. Right. She's stuck there now. Scram Nana, I wouldn't doubt it. Thank you, Angel. Thank you. And it's funny because this right here should be proof of what I'm going to talk about later. But we're going to get there. Don't worry. Medina. This is quick. So, someone paid for their hotel room, excuse me, until Wednesday. And then updated it to paying for it until this Friday. Since her hotel room has been paid for, I haven't heard her say more than 2 words about getting a job. She doesn't just talk to people. She's like every other scammer. She comes live when she needs something. And the moment she gets the money, she gets off. She spends the money on God knows what, and it comes right back and asks for more. And she's starting to sound like Lisa, where every beg is for food. But is it really? Because I cannot believe that you and her don't have food stamps. Wait, who said that? Little man, exactly. That was the point I was going to make. Thank you. So, while she was begging for money, I believe it was to get lunch yesterday. Let me find. Oh, here we go. She was saying, I want to see if I can get some dinner for us. And I wrote down, has anybody heard anything more about a job? Because I haven't. And certainly not for Claudia. And for a while, nobody sent a dime. And then she got people to send her a little bit. And we know who they are because Belinda sent 3. But then Claudia must have shown her a menu. Thank you, TikTok president. While she's begging for money for food, Claudia shows her a menu because Medina says, yes. Oh, good morning, Candy. Girl. I couldn't fit Maggie in today, but on Friday, what she said, shout out to All for One, I hope you drag her. It is time for her to face consequences. It is time for her to face consequences. But she'll be there for Friday, though. So she shows her the menu, and Medina says, oh yeah, they got good stuff there. So you aren't going to the grocery store and maybe getting a microwave something or getting a sandwich made. No, you want to order delivery. Her name was Frida Goff. I'll show you so you could take a screenshot. Bonded out by Frida Goff. Take a screenshot and then maybe the sister would know. Of course, no problem. We work together. I appreciate you. That's how we get it right, because we work together. Anyway. So, you don't work. Y'all lay around in hotels all day. And the community at large is supposed to feed you breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day? Dana, nothing. When they aren't on here begging every day, they come off the grid. So he comes on every once in a while and says he needs $5,000. It's the same thing every time. I'm not going to talk about him when I have people actively doing their thing. But he comes live every once in a while. So when she said, oh, the room is paid for until Friday, so all I have to worry about is food. I'm going to say it again. How am I supposed to believe that the dog is being taken care of appropriately when you don't even have money to feed yourself? Thank you, Princess. For fact. And then what I think people do that is almost the most disgusting, I'm not going to say it is, but it's almost, is as people come in the live, they call out their name and ask for money. They would be like, oh, hey, Granny Annie, welcome in. Can you help? Can you send any money? Right, Christina? Everybody is having a hard time. Think about this. The government is shut down, which means that most federal workers have been furloughed. They get no money. And because they've not fired, they can't even apply for unemployment. And the ones who are working aren't getting paid. Right? And now it's being threatened that the furloughed employees won't get paid because they didn't work. They didn't ask for the shutdown. They didn't walk out in protest. Why are they being penalized for a decision that people higher up than them made? So imagine the thousands of employees who are always guaranteed that they will get paid, back pay, because they don't get paid during the shutdown because the government is shut down. And now they're not going to get money? Well, the people in Congress, the people in the White House still get a paycheck unless they write and say, hold my check. Now, they can do that. They can write and say, hold my check. I don't want to get paid until everybody in the government is getting paid. Thank you, Glory. I remember the last time this happened, a gentleman was living in his home, his own home. He worked for TSA for years. And this man's mortgage company was letting him know that if he doesn't pay soon, they're going to proceed. He didn't even have food in the house. Friends were giving him food. He was going to food pantries. And yet, he had to go to work every day. Right, Christina? So, the economy as a whole is struggling. I'm not saying everybody's struggling, but overall, people are struggling. And let's not forget the thousands of federal employees who were already fired. They were working hard every day and got let go. For no other reason than they felt like your job could be absorbed by somebody else. It wasn't because of poor performance. It wasn't because you got written up. You were the newest people hired. You're the first to go. And then this was what was also crazy. So within the government, if you get a new job, even if you've been working there for 20 years, they put you back on what's called probation. But it's not like the probation of regular businesses. It's just a designation within the federal system. So there was a guy, he had been in the military for 8 years. He worked for the federal government for 8 years and had just gotten a promotion. Guess what? Doge fired him too. Correct, Imprinted Angel. They're not getting paid either. So in an economy that is in major flux right now, you think it's okay for you to lay on your ass and beg other people to feed you, to house you so you're comfortable? It is a slap in the face to everybody that gets up every day and does it. It's a slap in the face to the military. It's a slap in the face to people who have to still get up every day and go to work, knowing they're not going to get a paycheck at the end of 2 weeks. And not only that, now that is being threatened. Correct, Offer One. On top of that, they're taking millions and billions out of the safety net. And if this, what do you call it? This budget goes through as it's written, your elderly friends and family, forget about having Medicaid to be in a nursing home. That's gone. It's not, they're selling the story that they're getting people who are here illegally off of it. If you are here illegally, you can't get it. So the only people who are really going to suffer are the people who are owed it, who work their whole lives here, or brand new babies who are born. And the mother makes $1 too much, or the family makes $1 too much. Now, I don't care what side of the political aisle you're on, what you believe and what you don't believe. These are just facts. So I take personal offense to someone who feels like the larger community owes them something. You have been playing this game for months, and in fact, scamming for years. And let's be honest, you're taking advantage of Claudia's mother as well. Now, I'm sure Claudia to her mother is still her baby. She's only 25 years old. And Medina is in her late 30s. Mid-30s. And in your mid-30s, you still haven't figured life out? Enough to know that you should have a job? But you're worried about who Claudia is talking to on the internet. And the only reason why you're afraid is because you know that there's somebody out there that can offer her a comfortable life. And you don't want her to know about it. Correct, stop the BS. She's 36 years old, and the woman she's with is 25. I give her a pass, kinda. She's young. And she sounds spoiled. How do I know? Because I was spoiled. But my parents created in me a work ethic. I started working at the age of 14. Not because I needed to, but because they were like, let's get some responsibility. It wasn't enough that I had chores. Because my daddy would do my chores for me. He used to piss my mother off. So when people say, why do you care? Why does it matter to you? Because the money isn't coming out of my wallet directly, but I'm watching other people get taken advantage of when they are two able-bodied people who could get a job. And they lie to people. They did to people exactly what Tim and Angela did. I'll pay you back. I started a job on Tuesday, and somehow, miraculously, she was getting paid that Friday. How did that work? It sometimes takes a whole week just for them to enter your name in the system. But she said it not because it made sense, because it didn't really matter. There wasn't a job. And then she posts a picture of herself in a hard hat. Girl, do you not know that you can go to Walmart or Home Depot, put on a hard hat and a vest and take a photo? What does you being in a hard hat mean? And then, of course, she claims that somebody from TikTok called and got her fired because they told them that they were a scammer. What I want to know is, how come everybody's boss believes the person on the phone and not the employee they just hired? Every time. One phone call. And it's funny because I'm going to use Sheena's ex-husband to show you that that's BS. Because someone, and she exposed herself, saying she was the one who reached out to his boss and told his boss that he was looking for another job. Now, I don't condone that. I don't find it right. I really don't. Because all it's going to do if he loses his job is make her get worse. So, I don't see the point. But she felt justified. It is what it is. I don't agree with it, though. Let me be very clear. But his boss didn't fire him. He called him and told him, or text messaged him and told him somebody from TikTok called and told him what the person said. He didn't get fired. Right, Angel. Some parents are trying to prepare you for real life. Because if I could go back to being a kid, now that I know what I know, I would take it all day. Not having to worry about how the bills are going to get paid, what's going to happen, if there are going to be increases, am I going to be able to afford it? I miss those days. I got to figure out how to turn that off. Because I don't want to battle. I know that's right, Angel. Right, Cindy. Ignorance is absolute bliss. So, what we're getting from her is the 3 times a day, can you get us food? Can you give us money for food? And we're eating what we want, not there's no ramen noodle diet happening over there. Period. Anonymous Eyes, where can I do that? Because now that they've changed the whole background, 2 circles. Oh. No, that didn't work. Okay, let's try that. Thank you. No, it's okay. I just turned off everything, but it was like allow your audience to recommend. I turned everything off other than allow your audience to recommend co-hosts, but I changed I undid everything, so hopefully that stops. So that's what I have to say on that. Okay, we're at 8:00. All right. I did. Hold on. Okay, nope. All right. Mr. Nash is getting worse by the day. I told y'all that when he gets money, I did Pookie already. Sorry, Sweet Sassy. I did her, I think, first. When I went in, he said, I wonder if I should do one of those live streams where I say I'm not going to talk until I get what I want. Try it. He was like, yeah, no, I don't think I'm going to do that. Again, he claims to work, but then said because he was withdrawing from his psych meds, his boss told him to go home. Here we go. We're right back on I need meds. But you know, I came across a video from when he was working in the smoke shop. He wasn't balling by any means, but he was paying for the car. I never once heard him ask for anything. Forget about asking for his medication. Now, he was working, right? But he claims now he can't get Medicaid because he was working. Chill. You need a new tent because the zipper broke? Maya Angelou, it's all a lie. It's all a lie. And if people were just a little bit curious, shout out to Miss May Hakuna Matata, you could do a few Google searches and determine that he is lying. Right off for one. Is he even in a tent? Like, yeah, you could put it up and show me in it, but you don't never go live at night while you're in the tent? Why? You don't show definitive proof that you're in a tent, that the tent is broken. And I already told you, that tarp he showed, that was a part of a bigger package. He didn't buy it from Walmart in that package because it would never be shrink wrapped like that. Whatever he showed was a part of something else. Something he probably got from somebody. Somebody was probably nice enough to give him something. And he knew he could lie about it. But has he shown a picture of the tarp over his tent? Has he shown the tent with the broken zipper? Has he shown the popped, what do you call it? The air mattress? Has he done any of that? Let's not forget, has he ever shown a medicine bottle? Turn it around. Write out all your information. And furthermore, what address are you using? Because as far as I can tell, you haven't had an address in the area you're in since you got there. Really? He showed a medicine bottle? I didn't see it. Did it have his name on it? Right. He doesn't have an ID. And in order to get narcotics through the pharmacy, it doesn't have to be you, but somebody has to show up with an ID that's put on record. Who's doing that for you? He didn't show anything on it, just had one. Yeah, show me the bottle with a date and your name. I don't need to know what the medication is. I don't need to know the address that is on it. I don't need to know the milligrams. But you are quick to tell everybody what cancer you have. You're quick to tell everybody you're on psych meds. You're quick to tell everybody you're on pain meds, but won't show any of it. Won't show the food, won't show the receipts. Because if you had just went in Walmart and purchased that, what do you call it? That tart, you should have had the receipt. And the reason why somebody in his position, a receipt is always important, because if something goes wrong, he can take it back. Because he doesn't have the money to buy a new one. But it's just all screen and mirror. What is it? Smoke and mirrors. Char, you'll get blocked. Hey, Jeannie, you'll get blocked if you say you're broke. Like what? Right, Charlotte. And again, Miss May knows that. And yet she's still in there supporting him. Right, Imprinted Angel. Correct. So he needed food and a tent replacement. Somebody said they were going to send him something. He logged off quick. And then came back and was like, somebody sent me, what was it, a penny? Wait, let me see. What did I write down? Yeah, somebody sent a penny. But this was interesting. Guess what he said yesterday? That he's only been clean for 7 months. Chill, it might have been, but he didn't say. What do you mean you've only been clean for 7 months? You've been running around here saying that you've been clean for over a year. Now it's 7 months. I think he changed it to 7 months because we have the evidence from the last time he got arrested. He said 10 months yesterday too. That's insane. And somebody in there was like, I thought you said it was a year. And he was like, no, you got that wrong. It's only 7 months. So that means 7 months ago you were lying. Because 7 months ago you were saying you were clean too. So I'm supposed to believe you're clean now? Really, Renee? I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, Sassy Girl, he said 11 months. Literally yesterday, he said he has only been clean for 7 months and he's proud of it. Again, when you are on rugs, you think you make sense. You don't. And for people like me who take notes in real time, I got you, bro. Then he said, I just started working and I can't do anything else. Meaning he has no other choice but to come on TikTok and beg. Sir, this isn't I fell on bad times and so I need a little help. You have been doing this for years. Lying about cancer, lying about open heart surgery, lying about your leg being amputated, and actually asking for one shoe. Like, you didn't just say it and then come back and be like, guys, I was kidding. No, you held on to the lie. You asked for a wheelchair because your leg got amputated and then magically grew back. And you thought making a new account with a new name was going to erase all of that? And then let's not forget the infamous maxi pad that was taped sticky side down saying that the hospital ran out of gauze. So that's what they gave you. You have been proven to be a liar over and over and over again. And yet somehow now we're supposed to believe you? So he wanted people to know that he wanted 2 to 3 days worth of food so he wouldn't have to worry about it. But I said, no, you want the equivalent of 2 to 3 days of food in cash. You don't want 2 to 3 days of food. And he was like, I'm taking advantage of all the resources. Well, I was in the live where I can't remember exactly who it is, but it's somebody on our side who found a resource that he could go to that offered food and clothing and you name it. And his excuse for not going then was because it was across town. And that they closed at 5 o'clock and he didn't get off until 5 o'clock. But then, and he didn't have a bus pass either. But see, if you were asking for things that could better yourself, like I need a bus pass to get there and get back, that's $5, I believe. But then you have a real resource. They may have tents. They may have clothes. They definitely have food. So at some point he claims he went, and the only food they had was food he couldn't use. And of course he doesn't want to eat canned shit because he's using food to cure his cancer. There's always an excuse why it doesn't work out for him and why he still just needs your cash. At what point are people going to wake up and realize this is a bunch of BS? Then on top of it, he said he's in a new cancer clinic. Has he mentioned going to an appointment? Has he mentioned updates and treatment? And again, did they find a grant for you to see them? I have questions. I have questions. And then, of course, when people are like food stamps, Medicaid, oh, well, I couldn't get it because I was working. So how were you paying everything when you worked at the smoke shop? Because you were paying rent, you were paying for the car, and what, you were buying all of your medication cash? And again, a simple Google search lets you know what's up. People who are trying to get medication cheaper will try to find every way, even if they don't have insurance. The GoodRx card is a perfect example. But also, your pharmacy can help you find deals on your medication. And in fact, a lot of drug companies have their own programs that help you lower your medication costs. But not him. He needs all your money. As long as he keeps doing what he's doing, he will remain on the grid. One more. Oh, wait, did I take her off? Or did I just not down? Tell me I didn't not download her photo. I didn't download her photo. Oh, okay. Never mind then. I'll just say Kesha is back. And, oh wow, Lainey, I'm so sorry. Kesha is back to begging. She claims she still works full time. And that's why she's not on live very often. But she needed $165. But that someone had sent her 50, someone else sent her 5, and so she was down to needing $65. Now she started this a couple of days ago. But what I also know is, guess who's back in her life full time? The man. Yes, her picture is up at the top. If you can't see it because of all of the gobbledygook of TikTok, if you have an Apple, touch the screen and hold it. A menu will come up and you can clear the display. If you're using an Android, swipe to the right. She is the person up at the top. And her name that she's using right now is Smith_Kesha. But the man who just got out of a treatment facility is back with her. And she's so happy to be with him that she can't stop smiling even while she begs. But when I caught her a couple of days ago begging, she was literally laying on the ground, concrete, with her bag under her head, and saying she's going to be homeless if she doesn't pay the money. And he's in the background talking. It's what it used to be when people kept her in hotels and Airbnbs all the time. He would be there, but she would act like she was alone. Now she can't even hide it. She's smiling ear to ear, asking for another $65. No, it's not Eric. It's Kesha up at the top. Yes, that's her at Smith_Kesha. She lives in Canada. Yeah, the new Amanda. Well, she isn't new, but she's a returnee. And if you have... Oh, no, the boyfriend is Eric. Oh, okay, yeah. I was thinking you were talking about Eric Fastuno. Yep, he's back. And he's back, and suddenly she can't pay her rent. She hasn't been begging in a minute. And I fear that she'll be back to begging every day. Oh, good. I'm glad Sheena is live. Sheena could kick rocks. I don't care. And somebody can go watch, but we all know what it's going to be. I'm waking up with the birds. And she saved her cleaning from last night so she could do it today. So she has something to do. Who saves cleaning? What? I can understand not wanting to do it, but you're saving it for your content tomorrow? Be for real. Be for real. It's not real content. They do always come back. But now we're on the topic of her. This is what y'all came for today. So I don't cover Sheena every day. And in part because what she is doing is sanctioned by TikTok. You guys know, if you've been with me for some time, that I don't like it. Because in my estimation, it is TikTok sanctioned begging. And for me, it's the worst kind, because they train you to make it like you guys are a team, that you guys are winning. We are winning. We have a great team. We are going to beat them. We are going to do this, that, and the third. But the only person that actually wins is the person in the box. To me, it is highly manipulative. And for people who need to belong to something, they will send their last because they feel like I now have people. I now have like-minded people. I now have people around me who think the way I think, and they care about me. They ask how my day is doing. What did I have for dinner? And maybe they don't have that in their lives. Or maybe some people actually enjoy watching battles. I am personally not one of them, but I don't knock anybody else for it being entertaining to them. Hold on, I had to put the coffee down and drink some water because this is going to be a long one. Well, we all know that Sheena blocked me the first time she found out that I talked about her. And you also know that the last time I talked about her, some other people came in the box and they illuminated a lot of things. Allegedly, she's now calling a sexual assault from a consensual relationship with her brother-in-law. Now, I don't have any proof. Other people say that their sisters have proof. I don't know. They are a toxic family. Let's be honest. They are a toxic family. They are the ones who I'm like, get off TikTok, man. Like, this isn't the place for it. But y'all know that I called Chef's Kiss when her mod, Christy, played the portion of my live about her for her audience. And why did I say that? Because the people who were in there would never come in here and listen. But they were a captured audience that day, because she was playing it during her live, and I watched the whole thing and enjoyed it. Now, originally, I didn't know that her sisters were even on the app, because I don't dig into whose family. I'm focused on the scammer or the manipulator or the liar themselves. I don't go out looking for family members. I don't even try to, it's not what I do. I'm not knocking anybody else who does, but it's not what I do. So the only time I knew she actually, I didn't even know they were sisters. I was introduced to Fifi when TikTok Beggars had one sister in her box talking, and Fifi was in her live talking, and they were going back and forth. And not knowing who they were, I went into Fifi's box and said, don't do this here. Don't do this here. Like, why? Like, you're literally, people are using this as their entertainment. But she was so riled up, any sense of talking to her was pointless. I then found out they were sisters of Sheena, and I was like, makes sense. They're very similar. That was the first time I had ever seen Fifi. The second and third time I saw Fifi was when she was battling Sheena. And it was a regular battle. Like, they were just talking back and forth. And then the third time was when Fifi, and I wasn't watching Fifi, I was watching Sheena. Fifi was like, that girl Christy isn't your friend. She was talking crap about you. She didn't realize that Christy was replaying my live. Those are the 3 times I saw Fifi. I never saw her beg. I never saw her ask. She did not make it to my radar. Not every scammer, beggar, liar does. But for some reason, there are people who think that I should know everything, everywhere, all at once. That I'm supposed to know everything about everybody all the time. I have a life outside of TikTok. I'm a mod for somebody who likes to go live and play games. I have grandchildren. I have family. I have a house to maintain. And I like to touch grass. So I do what I do based on what I'm comfortable with and the amount of time that I have. Because TikTok isn't my whole life. And what I do here is a passion project. Do I dedicate more time than Mr. would like? Probably. But he knows that this is something that I'm passionate about. So when I was scrolling after Sheena, let me just make this clear. So Sheena threatened somebody that she thought called her husband's boss. It turned out not to be that person. And she put a false jacket on him. And I would be mad too. So he mentioned a petition against her. And I was like, wow, okay. Like, I'm not mad. I don't know how I would react, but I might feel the same way. I don't know. It wasn't me. So when people tell Sheena this, she, of course, crashes out and is like, I'm going to take a nap. I'll be back. So she ends. And now I'm scrolling and I come across Fifi being live, and she had just gone live. I wasn't looking for her. It just popped up. And in most cases, I am blocked as digital. So I had to leave the account I was on to watch Sheena, and I came back as digital. There are very few quote unquote scammers that still let me in their box as digital. But I just went in. And people were asking Fifi first about her twin sister getting a divorce. Fifi hadn't heard that at all. And she's like, guys, I just got out for my first day. I just come in and y'all are hitting me with this. And then they started hitting her with, there's a petition to get Sheena off. And again, she had the same shocked reaction. Like, what are y'all talking about? And see, I took the opportunity to go in and talk to her. And for some reason, that bothered some folks. Y'all who have been around me long enough know that if I get an opportunity to get in a box, I take it. I don't run. I don't hide. I'm there. And see, while you are playing checkers, my dear, I am playing chess. What you didn't know was that I was there because I know that Sheena stalks her sister's page. And as soon as her sister starts talking about her, Sheena's sycophants run to Sheena and text her and say, your sister is talking about you. So I took the opportunity to go in there and literally say everything I would say to Sheena. I wanted her to know why we have a problem with her. We want her to know that we consider her a manipulator. We want her to know that we think she's a liar. We want to know that she treats the people who support her like shit. But see, Sheena would never let me in her box to do it. So I took Fifi's box to do it. And yes, there were people in there saying, you're talking to a scammer about a scammer. I have a standard, and my standard is this. If I personally haven't seen you beg, you don't make it to the grid. And I've never personally seen it. I've seen videos now, after the fact, but Fifi was never on my radar. And I wasn't doing it to accuse Fifi of anything. I again was playing chess. I knew Sheena would see it. She would hear about it. And in the live, Fifi admitted that she used to be a beggar. And when she was, she didn't care a single thing about the people who were giving her money. And she said that her mother wished they would get off TikTok because it has split their family in half. And she said, we're toxic already. This has just made it 100 times worse. Now, what people who know me know is that when I'm talking, like right now, I'm not even looking at the chat. Because again, I wasn't in there for anybody in the chat. I wasn't in there to accuse Fifi. I was playing chess. I wanted Sherry to have to hear me and hear what I said. I wanted her to know why we as a community have a problem with her. So while I'm doing the thing that I do, the way that I do it, Top 4 Ways was watching with her sycophants. And I always say the hills have eyes, and so does TikTok. And while she's streaming other people, people are recording her. And I got sent said recording. And just so that you don't have to believe me, I'll be posting it. So y'all can hear it for yourselves. But Top 4 Ways says that I don't know anything because I don't watch and I don't stream. I just target one person. Tell me you don't watch me without telling me you don't watch me. I only watch I only watch and only target one person. Miss Ma'am, if I don't have raising the consciousness, I'm talking about 9 people. And I made the conscious decision not to stream because I was thinking to myself, if TikTok were to interfere with what we do, the first thing I thought was that they would take streaming rights away. Simply because of copyright. Thank you very much. What I do is I watch, and I come here and I talk about it. And I give my commentary. I try to add 2 + 2 + 2 so I can give you a fuller picture. And what I say, the reason why I put their ad up there is because I say, go watch them for yourself. Vicky, Top 4 Ways is somebody who used to be somebody else in the awareness community, and she's come back with a changed name like she's brand new. She's not. She has a long history with this community. But what she does now with her new name is that she streams scammers. And I have felt funny about it because they bully people. And I kept saying, guys, be careful what you're sitting in. Be careful who you're supporting. So let's go on. I had said to Fifi that your sister needs to be better. And Top 4 Ways said, I need to take my own advice. That I need to be better. Because she said, I support 4K, who is a racist, and this, that, and the third. Ma'am, did you miss my Sunday live when I gave her 48 hours? See, you don't watch me and you clearly don't know shit about me. But you are spouting your mouth like you know something to your echo chamber. Let's talk about it. You are sitting in a room with people who tell you that everything you're doing is right, and so that reconfirms to you that you're right. But just because you think you're right doesn't mean that you're right. You are a victim of your own echo chamber. And as I said earlier, Scam Slam and Fallon can provide proof that I didn't know that Caught in 4K was Sour Patch. So that's thing one. And what's crazy is that when she first started, and Anonymous started, and Caught in 4K started, I supported them all. I went in and said, keep doing the good work, and gifted them. Because I believe that the tent is wide enough for all of us. But as I started to see the bullying, as I started to see the need to get paid for it, I couldn't go in there anymore. I couldn't support it. And so I said, be careful where you sit. Right, All For One? You come into this community, I got mistreated when I first joined the community. I was treated like a dummy because I didn't know certain things because I was new to the community. So when I see somebody doing something that can be a positive add to the community, I absolutely go in and I say, please keep doing the good work. Anybody that's been in any live can say that. That's what I do. Because I want people, the more people doing it, the better. I'm not intimidated because I sit over here and do it the way I want to. You do it however you want. But as long as you're making people aware of what's going on, I support it. But when we start doing fuck shit, I just quietly walk away. I don't even say your name. But since you wanted to talk big shit about me, here we go. Here we go. You were upset. Somebody was upset that I didn't acknowledge them in the comments. I wasn't looking. And when I saw it, somebody else said it. I said, I understand. I'm not here to address her. I'm focused on Sheena. Because again, I was playing chess and not checkers. I wasn't there for Fifi. I was there so that Sheena would hear it. And how I know she did was because when she came back, I was still talking to Fifi. And she said, I'm now being called a scammer. We're now going to do this and I'm not going to ask for anything. So I know she heard me. And then she said, I'm going to take a 10-minute break so I can calm down and then we can work on my fragment. Is that not asking? Sheena doesn't know how to do it without asking. Let's be frank. And asking isn't the problem. It's the way you ask. It's the way you treat people when you're not winning. It's the way you treat people when they don't have any more money. Because in your mind, somehow people are supposed to have unlimited funds so you could take care of what you want to take care of. Did you think people wouldn't realize that you got $43,000 in a year and less than a year and a half? And the fact that you are still upset when you're not winning, still upset when people throw to other people that used to throw to you, still upset. when people aren't talking, it's crazy to me. But the idea that I'm supposed to know who everybody is in every circumstance, that I'm going to dig in everybody's past and all their history, that's not what I do. When it becomes material to what I'm doing, I'll address it. You don't get to dictate to me when I address somebody. But again, I was playing chess and not checkers. I didn't take the low-hanging fruit and say, well, people in here are saying you're scammers. Because guess what? She admitted to being one. Now, of course, she put it in her past. Of course she did. She said, that's what I used to do. And of course, I have since seen videos of her asking for money since then. But guess what she's doing? She actually went and got a job. So let's go on. Then I said something to Fifi about if Sheena would like a permanent spot on the grid, it will be there. And Top 4 Ways said, a grid? What is that? If you don't know about my grid, then you don't know anything. You don't know a fucking thing. Because I've had the grid for, since December last year. And more recently, I started saying, welcome to the grid. But you somehow are talking about me like you know what's going on. Because I'm going to get to that. Don't worry. It actually gets worse. They then accused me of sitting there and chopping it up with a scammer. I have talked about a plethora of scammers. I have also gotten their boxes. Everybody knows that when I go in a box, I'm kind. I ask questions. Because the goal isn't to hurt their feelings. The goal isn't even to embarrass them. The goal is to get them to stop. But for some reason, you had a problem with it because you only play checkers and I play chess. You couldn't fathom what I was doing. And that's okay. But to talk shit about me while I'm doing it is crazy work. It's diabolical. Because then she said, fuck you. And then was like, let me pull it back. Y'all will be able to hear it because I'm going to post it. All because you thought I didn't know who Jessica was? You have no proof that I don't know who Jessica was. But because you and your chat thought that I wouldn't know who Jessica was, it was fuck you? Bitch, you don't know me? Clearly, if you don't know about the grid. Then somebody in her chat said that I think I'm a TikTok god. I make an effort to be humble. Because that is a personality trait I wish to have. So I work on it. I say to people, if I'm going down the wrong road, if I'm making a mistake, tell me. I don't want an echo chamber. I want to know. And there were two kind people who did reach out to me to tell me that Fifi was a scammer. And they got a nice reply. And I just let them know I was playing chess, not checkers. Someone else said that I was nothing but a clout chaser. And the audacity. By the way, I have everybody's name that was talking shit. People were saying to TikTok beggars or top 4 ways that she finally got it about me. They were happy that they were seeing me in the same light. Welcome in, Sheena. I said what I said about you, and I mean every word of it. You treat your people like shit. Why do you think that they have an unlimited bank account? That you can go live 7 days a week, morning, noon, and night, and expect people to send. And what's disgusting about it is that when you're not winning, when people are no longer throwing, your mood changes. And you tell them that you would be positive if they were doing something. Well, why can't they just be in there? You are the creator, not them. You do something to create the conversation. That's not their responsibility. It is yours. And the idea that you've gotten over $40,000, which is somebody else's salary for a year, and you've gotten it and you still find a reason to complain is diabolical. Now, are there other people getting way more money battling than you? Yes. But do they have your nasty attitude? Probably not. Do they care if they win or lose? Probably not. Do they make the people in the chat responsible for their fragments, their elevation? No. They just get there. But you've decided that you are going to use your attitude to manipulate the people. You have brought this on yourself. There are millions of people who battle who don't even get a second look. So there's a reason why people stream you. There's a reason why people talk to you, talk about you. And it's not because you battle. It is about who you are as a person. And I'm old enough to tell you that. I'm not a child. I'm a grown woman. I've lived life. I've seen things. And I've seen people like you. So you can continue to stream me to your audience. You can continue to listen. But I said what I said. And I stand on it. You don't have to like it. That's your right. But because I have my own mouth and my own platform, I'm able to talk about whatever I would like. So then Top 4 Ways said that I know nothing. Well, I'm sorry, someone else said that. And then this is the audacity of it all. She said that I watch her and what videos she puts out, and then I come here and talk about it. But I'm talking about stuff that you guys knew a week ago. Are you okay? Country Grammy, you're grown. You don't ever have to apologize for scrolling out. It happens. Not around here. Other people want you to do that. I don't. I watch you and what you put out and then come talk about it, but I'm giving information from weeks ago. So if you haven't seen my latest video, and it's funny because I actually had done part of it weeks ago. Like I recorded it weeks ago and just never posted it. If all I had to do was watch you, why do I have dates and times and people's names? And if I'm only talking about Snapdog, if I'm only talking about stuff from weeks ago, how did I have up-to-date information about Amanda being released yesterday at 12 o'clock? Did I get that from you? By watching you? But again, this shows me how much you have let other people tell you about me. And instead of investigating it for yourself, you just decided to run your mouth. Not realizing that you were talking out the side of your face. Because you don't know the grid, you don't know me. I watch you? And then somebody said yes, and then after I watch her, I talk for 16 hours. First of all, it's 9. But let me tell you what I think. See, you swim in a puddle, and your ripple effect is your little audience. And because it's just a little puddle, the waves come back in and they tell you everything you do is right. But if they were real friends, they would tell you the truth. And let's be clear, I know something. And what I know is that there were people in there who watch me.
Someone was detected at your front door.
She always enters at the wrong time. There are people in there that watch me too. And I'm not asking you guys to defend me, because I was happy nobody did. Because it allowed her to keep going. And then it allowed me to see exactly who she is. I never dug into her past. I thought she was new to awareness. Just to find out that she's been around a really long time. She just changed her name so that she could pretend like who she used to be isn't who she is now. She apologized for it. But you want to call 4K stuff for what she did at Sour Patch, but you don't want anybody to know who you used to be. I'm talking about Top 4 Ways TikTok Beggars. You make cartoon after cartoon using AI to bully people. In fact, last night, while Sheena was battling somebody, the young lady who didn't know anything about Sheena, didn't acknowledge any of the drama, she hadn't been on the app, she said, for a year and a half. And she came back, and you could tell she made an effort. Her hair was done, her makeup was done, she had a cute little outfit on, and she was like, I'm going to battle, and I didn't know what to expect. As soon as she came up in Sheena's box to battle her, somebody between Top 4 Ways and the two people in her box immediately said something about the woman's eyelashes and her being able to fly away. What did that woman do to you? So does it make you feel better to talk shit about other people you don't know? Does it elevate you somehow that you wouldn't wear eyelashes like that? But that's the first thing you said when you saw her. See, I don't bully over here. I don't worry about what people look like. It's not a concern of mine. What is a concern of mine is who they are and how they treat other people on this app. But what they look like doesn't matter. But for some reason it does to you, because for some reason you think it elevates you. Yes, some of it might be funny to some people, but it shows me who you really are. So watch you? Never. And let's be clear. I was at the doctor, so I wasn't actively looking. I was just strolling TikTok. And as I'm strolling, I see her streaming Sheena while Sheena battled a black woman. And she was using a filter where they were both in a garbage can, but only the black woman had garbage on her head. Now, I didn't know it was a filter. Did I come here and talk shit about her? No, I went right in and I said, why does the black woman have garbage and not the white woman? And she immediately was like, don't call me a racist. I'm not. And so I got in the box. I didn't call you a racist. I was just asking. See, I don't need to hide in my life when I need to address something. I'll come directly to you. And I said, I never called you a racist. I was asking. And she was like, it's a filter. I have no control. I said, okay, I understand now. And I said, but I just want you to know that other people of color who are passing through also won't know that that's a filter. They'll think that you're making fun of the black woman. And the last thing you want to do is alienate anybody from the community because they think you're being racist. I went right in her live and said it to her. And I was like, I'm sorry if you thought that I was calling you a racist. I wasn't. I literally was strolling through, and if I thought that, I'm sure other people of color. Now, of course, she had her echo chamber saying to her, I'm not offended. But that's because you know. You know what's happening. Other people strolling through will not. So I wasn't bashing you. I didn't come here and talk about you in a bad way. I was just explaining to you what other people might think. I never called you a racist. But see, that's how grown people handle it. I don't make videos about other people. I don't come here and spend 2 hours talking about somebody else in the community, especially not on our side of the aisle. I just mind my business. I just go away. And the audacity to think that I watch you to create my content is hilarious. Because I was doing this before you ever went live as Top 4 Ways. So how am I watching you for content? And how is my content weeks old? Do I maybe go back a little bit to give people a fuller context? Of course. But guess what you just proved to me? You proved to me that you don't know shit about me. What you know is what other people have told you, and you decided to spout it out. Now, being wrong isn't the problem. You are wrong with your whole chest, and you didn't bother to take 2 seconds to find out if what people told you about me was true. You just ran with it because it made you feel better that I was watching you. I am now. Well, I was last night. I don't know if I'll give you any more attention. For what? So when I scroll through my books, which I am on book number 3, that's how I do it. I don't watch anybody else and make a conclusion. I watch them, the scammers, myself. I've talked about scammers you've never streamed, that you don't even know about. But fuck me? No, baby girl, fuck you. Does that make you feel better? Because it doesn't make me feel any better. See, over here, we as a collective swim in the ocean. I don't need your puddle. See, we are a collective. We share information with each other. We have a collaboration. We appreciate the entire tent. We are humble. I do not think that I'm a TikTok guy. Do I speak with authority? Yes. I absolutely do. Do I make mistakes? 100%. But the difference is, I don't hold myself hostage to those mistakes. I come here and I say, guess what, guys? I have an update. I made a mistake. It was this, that, and the other. You guys correct me in the chat. Valerie, why can't Top 4 Ways be here when you say this to defend herself? Did she invite me to her live to defend myself? No. But the other thing I failed to mention was that she quietly blocked me after she said what she said. So she can't be here because I'm blocked. I couldn't send her a message and say, come here because I'm going to talk about you, because she blocked me. But why would I give her an opportunity to defend herself when I heard it all for myself with my own ears? What is there to defend? She said it. And just so that you can, Rochester, when I'm done, I will open the box. I'm going to post it so all of you can hear it. So you know I don't have to make up a single word. You know, TikTok rules said that it is your responsibility as the host to control what happens in your live. You will be held liable for what happens. So I don't care who of the three said what. Y'all let it happen. So it is what it is. And I'm not hiding. I'm going to post this on YouTube. And I know I'm being screen recorded. Hello. Hello to everybody watching from the window. Hello, everybody watching from another account. I have no problem with you being here. I have no problem with you window watching, because for me, what is important is getting out the information. It doesn't matter to me if you don't like me or not. I'm going to still get up and do this every day. There are 470 people in here, and 302 have joined the team. I don't care. I'm here to get out the information. That's it. And if it helps somebody not get taken advantage of, if some of what I say somebody else uses to explain to somebody why they shouldn't give their money, that is the win. Not how I have risen in the ranks. Which, by the way, when Sheena got off and they talked, they told her, you're on the daily ranking. And she said, I'm on the daily ranking. Thank you, thank you. And I did it without asking. Why does being on the daily ranking matter to you? I don't even look at that. Why would it matter? You sounded like Sheena. And one of your friends is so proud of you rising in the ranks, she posted videos as you rose the ranks. Again, why is that important? But I watch you, so what would I be watching exactly? Thank you, Teresa. I appreciate that. I'm not asking you guys to join the fan club. I'm just saying. The numbers, I also say like the live until you feel the heart's tail and then you can stop, because I don't care about the number at the end. I care about being able to maintain the live. I care about being on the For You feed so that new people who have never heard about it or who don't know and are thinking about giving money get to hear the message. I have a regular schedule so that people can tell other people she'll be live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you want to hear about it, come watch her. Who else does that? Who else commits to being here on a schedule? I'm no better than anybody else. What I'm saying is that I run the platform the way I want to. It's not driven by what anybody else does. I have taken what I feel like are the best parts of what we do, and I've put my little sprinkle on it. And I've done it differently. But that's why I started going live from the beginning, because I felt like I had a voice and I wanted to say it. And I didn't want to hold anybody else responsible for getting my voice out. So I went live myself. And I tell you guys all the time, turn on your light and go live. Say what you want to say in your live. You don't have to worry about your voice being heard anywhere else. That's the privilege of having your own account. And if somebody were to use something that they heard here, am I going to run around and be like, you just listened to me and you said it? If it's the right thing, why does it matter? But I promise you, baby girl, I'm not watching. I'm not getting my information from you at all. I've been doing this longer than you've been streaming people. Now, you've been in the community longer than me. I know who you are. So you should know better. But because there's a group of people who don't like what I do, they have you convinced that somehow what you do impacts what I do. It doesn't. And to have the audacity to say that when you don't know what the grid is diabolical. So understand, over here, we are collaborative. Over here, we want the message to get out. Over here, we do our own research. Over here, we stay focused on scammers and what they do and not what they look like. Over here, we're supportive of people doing the good work. I don't care whether you see me at the top or at the bottom. It doesn't matter to me. I don't need to be at the top. I don't need to be how am I a TikTok god when I have 13,000 followers? Make that make sense. But what I am is consistent. What I am is here most Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. That's what I am. I'm sorry. I got a call. It knocked me out. Here, let me show you the grid, because I'd be happy to educate everybody. This is the grid. The grid is the 6 to 9 people that I'm going to talk about when I go live. This is the grid. This was the one from today? I'll, this was the one from today? This was the one from today? This is the one from Wednesday. Sorry, when Mr. calls, I gotta answer. Let's see. Let's go back even further. This is the grid from 10-3. And every time there's different people. Now, some people have a permanent spot, as you would say. But I only talk about the people that I have watched myself in the amount of days before it. Why do I need to go through my streamer when I can watch them myself? And I also want to make a finer point. What was blocking me supposed to do? Because all it did was prevent me from being able to come there on my real account and question you personally on your account, because that's where this happened. It didn't happen here. It happened over there. But if you think it would stop me from being able to watch your nonsense, blocking somebody is symbolic, which is why I don't do it here very often. Because just like a scammer can't stop me from watching, neither can you. But fuck me? Girl, have some better couth. Why do you have to go to the gutter? Because you don't like me. Okay, scapegoat, thank you. Oh, wait, hold on. Gotta get back to where I was. So you may live with the hanging fruit and you only play what's right in front of you. You do kiddie games. I'm strategic. And I'm sorry if that offends you. Don't come for me and I won't come for you. It's as simple as that. But to have the expectation that I know everything about everybody all the time, I have a life. I have a relationship to maintain. I have grandchildren. I have a son. I have family. I have 2 babies, White Sox and Kira. My life is not TikTok. I'm sorry if yours is. Rochester, I just invited you and it didn't work. So if you would like to come up now, you can. By the way, I will be posting the conversation so that you don't have to rely on the notes that I took from the recording. You can watch it yourself. Tim Nash or Tim and Angela? I will be posting it on YouTube. Thank you. Rochester, did you leave? Oh, I know, because they'll be in the street. We still have the bracket to do, but I had to deal with this today. I couldn't let it go until Friday. because you're calling what I do, you calling in like my integrity in question. You cannot like me. You could talk shit about me all you'd like. But when you question how and why I do what I do, when you don't know a single thing clearly because you don't know about the grid, sorry, you're putting false jackets on me. And then you block me. That is, what did you block me for? All right. Well, the boxes are open if anybody wants to say anything. If not, we need to go back. Again, who thought of putting scammers on a grid? I don't mean this grid. In a bracket? Did I get that idea from you too? Okay. Well, if nobody has anything to say, that's fine, Jody. She got to hear it for herself. I don't care. I stand on what I said. All of it. Now she can go back to her live and talk all the crap she would like. But I said what I said. We're going to do the grid. I mean, we're going to do. So I want to show it to you. So, what I had to do was take the names. Yes, you missed Kesha. I did her. To do the names. Chill, what do you mean? With 4K what? It is similar like a draw to a tennis tournament. So the other day we came up with, and it ended up being like 50 names. So because I was only going to do 32, I had to narrow it down. Princess, are you here? And guys, thank you for the gifts and the likes and everything. Okay, so what you have to do is rate them. And in this case, 1 to 8. Because we were doing 32 scammers, either individuals or couples. So I had to do some creative license and pick people out of the 50. But if this is successful, we can do this over and over and over again. So if there's somebody that got a high number, meaning that they didn't seem as bad as the number 1, 2, 3, and 4, don't be offended. We'll do it again. Oh no, you don't got to put your glasses on, baby. We're about to make it easy. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna start with the 1 versus the 8. For each block, we're gonna do 1 and 8, 2 and 7, 3 and 6, and then 4 and 5. We're going to put their names in a poll, and you guys get to pick who moves on to the next round. And then on Friday, we're going to do the 8 until we get to the 4. And then what I want us to do is all watch. Just like March Madness, exactly. We're going to watch them for their mods and enablers, and on the 18th, we're going to call them out. So, Peaches is ready. Let's do it. We're going to start with block 1. Oops. Nope. Not the right one. So this is block 1. It's Maggie versus Kayla Wisner. Asia versus Stud Soldier. I'm Pookie Bitch versus Carla Castro, and Cece versus Tim and Angela. So, Princess Peach, put in the poll Maggie versus Kayla. We're going to do this in 30-second increments. So, get it. Make sure you vote right away. Go ahead, Princess. Maggie versus Kayla. Or you can put 1 versus 8 if it's too much to put. No, we're not gonna. It's gonna take too long. Wait, and I gotta write it down. If I just do it that way, I mean, I think I know the answer, and that's why she was a number one. Cause I made what I consider to be the worst. Princess, can you do the poll or no? Okay, I'll do it. Okay, there's the poll. You have a minute. That's okay. Don't worry. If you can do me a favor, Princess, then if you can't, if I'm going to do it, can you write down the winners? Oh, yeah. Stud has been asking for a birthday gift for her wife for days. 24 seconds left, guys. I mean, I think this is definitive. Okay, the winner is Maggie, obviously. Okay. Next is Tim and Angela versus Cece. A betting pool, hilarious. Don't put it in the comments, just vote in the poll. Yeah, listen. I picked the ones and twos based on who I knew needed to move on. Like in basketball, a one or a two are the top players. They're the best. In here, you are the worst of the worst. Hit the little poll. Who does that? Jordan all the time. It's like it's a clipboard. It's at the top. It's at the top. 6 seconds. Again, I think we know. Okay, it is Tim and Angela. Let's do the next one. You know, we're always looking for an upset. Okay, third poll is up. This is going to take us a minute. I think we're going to go over. That's okay, Cat Juice. Just pick a number then. Spot for Spirit, I have no idea, and I'm not digging to find out. She's not on the app, so she is no longer relevant to me. But she hasn't been here. You're not on here begging? I don't talk about you anymore. Oh, this is a hard one. Listen. Oh, she's on here. Don't worry. This is just block 1. We got 3 more blocks to go. 7 seconds. Ooh, this is a close one. Okay. Stowed shoulder 1. I'm surprised about that. That's an upset. That is an upset. Princess Peach, you're getting all of this? Please tell me you're getting all of this, because I'm not writing it down. This is the next one. It's a little clipboard. It's Pookie and Carla Castro. And when you get to 4 and 5, you realize that they're almost the same kind of scammer. A Cat Juice I have created a whole new game. That's why when people are like, oh, she gets all of her stuff from me. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to wake up your gambling addiction. 15 seconds left. Y'all, you guys have to understand, I'm a sports lover. I lose it during the NCAA. Okay, thank you, Princess. During NCAA time. Like, I do a bracket against my man, and of course it's not for money. Okay, Pookie. Wow, I'm surprised about that one too. That was an upset. Okay. So all 4 here are done. Let's do the next one. Here, oops. Why do I keep picking the wrong photo? Here is block 2. So we're going to start at the top. Oh, no. No. That's not the right one. Sorry. So think about it. It's Tim Nash against Tristan Pizza. I might not spell his name right, so forgive me. But I'm not going to spend a bunch of time getting it right when we got so many more to do. Okay, there goes the poll. That's a tough one. Now, him being an 8 does not mean that I don't think he's a big scammer. But I had to make some executive decisions. Somebody has to be 1 and somebody has to be 8. Sweet Sassy, there's a little poll in the top left. Bella, believe me, I've only been able to watch him one time. I know about him. I've seen videos made about him. I know he's a scammer, but one time. Yes, please use the poll. Oh, Sherry, believe that's part of why he's a 1 is because of his mods and enablers. That factored into it as well. Yeah, the stuffed animals, I can't do it. I really can't. Okay, Tim Nash it is. We're getting the hang of it now. So now it's Beth and Devin versus Black Mamba. This one might be hard too. Oops. Oh, I can make the timer custom. It doesn't have to take a whole minute. That's okay. Then just pick a number. Do you like 2 or do you like 7? Child, let me just tell you something. Black Mamba is a trans man. But he still has the emotional roller coaster of a woman. And that's no shade. He goes from calm to screaming and cursing people out, because literally he will scream and curse you out if you say in the chat, I'm broke. Hey, All For One, I'm glad you're back because we're doing the polls. We're picking the scammers. That's fine, Kite Girl. Go with whoever you would like. But when it comes to enablers and moderators, they are at the top of the list. I'm sorry. Beth and Devin it is. Okay, who is next? Oh, Lord. This is going to be Cat versus Boo Bear. And Boo Bear is going by Angel Girly now. Oh, no, it only gives me... Oh, never mind. It won't give me 30 seconds. The smallest I can make the poll is a minute. I thought it would let me make it 30 seconds. Do the poll. So it's Cat, who sits in the closet and begs for $20 35 times a day? Or is it Boo Bear, who begs on her channel and then goes to other people like Maggie's channel and calls them a scammer? Like, girl, seriously? What did Debbie say? There are 4 blocks. There are 4 blocks on here. I said it was going to be a tough one. 10 seconds. Oh, okay. Yes. I'll keep doing that then. I'll keep mentioning it. Okay. Cat 1. All right. Next one. Will be Hippie Harley, because she is back in a big way. Of course, blaming the gang stalkers for why she lost her job. And we're going back to, and they stole my dog. And then we have Josh and Ada, who every time they need something, they ask their audience to pay for it. Whether it is a electric bill that they don't show proof of, a water bill they don't show proof of, and then their moving expenses. And then he said he was quitting his job, which was only taking care of his mother, according to them. She and him shared the job of taking care of his mother and got paid for it. So now they moved into a place and they're supposed to be moving the mother in. Why? So that they could spend more time doing social media, because that's really their goal. Oh, Bella, they're not winning anything. They're getting dragged. Whoever makes it to the final four is getting dragged on the Digital After Dark. Oh, that was the closest one yet. Josh and Ida got it. That was the closest one yet. It was 47% to 52%. They're not winning. Well, they're winning, but not in the way you think of. Okay, wait. Was that everybody? That was everybody on there, right? Yep. Okay, block number 3. We're moving along. Okay, so. I'm sorry. I had fun with this a little bit. It was hard. It took me a couple of hours, but I tried to make it make sense. Okay, so we have Detroit Nike against Wesley Wells. Now, we all know Detroit Nike went from having an apartment and still begging every day to not paying the rent, because why should he? Of course he should be living free. And I really thought that he would continue to blow up and TikTok would start paying him, and then he would literally be able to live off of his TikTok. Well, that didn't quite work out for him, so then he started drinking every night and making people pay for him to get drunk. Now he claims he is back on the streets and needs money every day for everything. And now Wesley is back. He availed himself of the resources. He was coming on TikTok and talking about regular things. I think he even got a little job and a place to stay. And now he is back in hotel rooms asking for money. Ah! Oops, I scared Kira. I'm sorry. Detroit won 90% to 9%. Well, that was definitive. But that's usually how it is with the number ones. Kira, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I made everybody drunk. One of my cats' name is Kirafiki, which is friendly in Swahili. And the other is a tuxedo. His name is White Sox, because all 4 of his paws are white. I'll show a picture. But we got to finish this first. Oh, the next one is a good one. We have Jordan Paul versus Savage Angel, also Country Honey, and she has the third one now, because Country also was discontinued. She can't go live, so she created another account. But obviously we know that Jordan Paul is the scammer of all scammers. Although I didn't see her yesterday. But she could have came on. I just didn't see her yesterday. She begged for hotel money. She used to beg for dog food, Gatorade, so she could eat. Claimed she was working and at the same time got evicted. And lied and said that she left on her own and that he was a weirdo. And then Savage Angel, with her job, claimed that she would have the money to move in, but that she was still going to need money because she had all of these things to do, like to the tune of another $2,000. Well, when it was time for her to move in, she didn't have enough money. Yep, Jordan Paul took it, which is why she is a number 2. Now, next one. This is going. Now that I got a hang of it, it's going pretty fast. Let's see. She'll love this. Sheena versus Ziminique. So we clearly know who Sheena is. And Sheena's on the list because she is a battler with a bad attitude. And she talks crap. She tells all her business and then wonders why people are in her business. And she's earned over $40,000 and still acts like people owe her something. Because she has bills to pay. It is nobody's job to pay your bills. It's your job. And if people want to gift you while you battle, you are thankful. Do you know how many battlers she has lost because of how bad she is? And then Ziminique is someone who decided to have 3,000 kids, and TikTok is responsible for feeding them and buying them Christmas gifts and a GoFundMe, and because they want a car. And they've had multiple, but neither one of them has taken the time to get a driver's license. Oop, poll is over. Sheena won. I'm sure she will love that. And I'm sure Christy is going to love Digital After Dark. She'll be invited, though. She'll get invited. They all will. That's why we got to figure out who all of their mods and enablers are, because I want to give them at least 24 hours notice that we are doing a live and calling them out. Here we go. Faith, for anybody who was looking for her, and Cody. Now, most of us know Faith uses her disability as the reason why she does and says and acts the way she does, when we know that that's not the case at all. She convinces people to give her money. She does what she wants with it and then wants more money. She doesn't use it for the reason. She still is gifting big creators because she wants them to say her name. But girl, people are out sending on you. Your little thing that you think is worth a lot of money, they see it regularly. And Cody is a mom of multiple children who feels like their birthday parties, Christmas, Halloween, homecoming, all of that should get paid by the 30 people who are in there. She had to take a break. She was forced to take a break. And some of her supporters have walked away. Wow. Well, I'm surprised at this, but she was the 4. Faith won. That was everybody. Next grid and the final one. Let's see. Carrie Walls, because in my opinion, her mods and enablers are some of the worst. And Brandon's Angel. This is a Violet. Whatever her name is. But she is another one who thinks that other people should pay her way. She has been trying to go viral for a long time. They have bought her 2 cars, and now the second car that they purchased her has broke down, and she needs it to get fixed, or she needs another car. Her husband has left her for another woman, and yet she will not change her name. But apparently last night, his mistress, who is a co-worker of his and himself, they went to a tattoo shop and got matching tattoos on their ring finger. And then the girlfriend posted it on her TikTok. And of course, she can't help but stalk the TikTok. And that really hurt her. Girl, when he came home and said he was leaving you, that should have been enough. Well, Carrie won. I suspected that. Now, we all know who Gabby is, and her mods and enablers are equally as bad as Carrie's. But what she just did takes the cake for me. She raised money for a lawyer. She had someone else named PPP raise money for said lawyer. And then very quietly ended the case. What did you do with all the money? But now you have new computer, a new Apple Watch, and people tried to lie for you and say that it was your old watch. Girl, it's the latest watch. A brand new computer, and then the woman who was PPP said, well, our rents got paid. What? Well, that was easy. Gabby it is. Just a couple more. I hope y'all are enjoying it, because I sure am. Here we go with the closer ones. Okay, we have Team Medina and Caitlyn. This is not the Kate that sits in the closet. This is Caitlyn, who had a daughter, lost the daughter due to neglect, left her apartment, went to move into the country with her boyfriend, and she manipulates her audience to give her money. She takes in dogs. And then somehow they don't make it. Okay, it wasn't PPP. It was Kaylee. Okay. All right, I got it. I was wrong. Thank you. I thought I was watching videos of PPP, but I don't know them people. Because they don't crash out Kaylee. Okay. I didn't put her on here because I didn't know anything about her. But don't worry. Again, if this ends up being a successful thing that you guys want us to keep doing, we can do it again. And maybe we can do 64. Because there are that many scammers. Okay, that was Team Medina. One last one. This one might be close to. And I'm going to be honest, I do not watch Lori Jones. All for one, we did a long list. I don't know anything about Jeff Gainey either. Don't put it in the chat. Do it in the poll, because that's the only thing that's going to count. I can't. She's boring, but she has. So it's Lori Jones versus Jalen. This is a tough one. Right. That's why they are a 4 and a 5. They are close. The poll is at the very top. It looks like a little clipboard, top left. Just click on it and the poll will open for you and you can vote. You have 10 seconds. Wow, Jalen won, but it was a close one. 61-38. Okay, guys. We now have the final 16. So, on Friday, I will have updated the chart. And then we are going to choose next time the final 8 and the final 4. So we have a week of watching the final 4. So we make sure we get the current enablers and the current mods. And then hopefully we will have decided all of that by Wednesday, so that on Thursday and Friday I can send messages. And then on Saturday night we're going to have a good time. And let's not forget to get the CAs and the PPs and the VMOs so that we can post those and take those too. Did anybody notice that Tim Nash tried to change his to a business account? Okay. One last update. Because I would be remiss to leave this out. Tim and Angela. So, of course, they were on last night begging for the room. And not only the room, but gas. Which I find so interesting. Because he used to not ask for gas. But they would go to the store. They would go to the gym. But that also tells you how much they laid around that room. I don't know if they got it because I was working on today. Not sure. But we'll find out this morning because they'll be in the car begging for tonight. Well, he may get up early and go outside and beg until she has to check out because, you know, her and the dog stay in the room while he goes in the car and begs for the next day. But I just want to make a point. And this is if we believe Tim, okay? That is the caveat. Oh, they didn't get money last night? Okay. Good for them. If you recall, on Monday, I said to you that he said he was getting his last check and it was mailed to him on the 26th. And the reason why it was mailed to him and not given to him was because he was not going to work at that time. But if they weren't mailing him the check until the 26th, that would mean that he had to have worked between Sunday the 7th and Saturday the 20th. At least one day. Because otherwise, the last check he would have gotten would have been on the 12th, and it would have been the 2 weeks prior to that. Okay? 'Cause they have family in the city. They have family in the city. He has an address he can get mail. He worked on the 21st. You have proof? Well, that counteracts some other proof that people said. So I'm just, based on him, so if they mailed the check out on the 26th, he either got it Monday or Tuesday of September. And again, this is believing him, which is very hard to do. Or he got it in the month of October, which is Wednesday. And what he said last night was that with his last check, he paid for a week. So there is absolutely no way that if he was able to pay for a week, he wasn't working then. I know, Maritza, but it was going around that somebody else had proof that he didn't work. And so I'm showing that just based on what he said, that couldn't be true. But he is a liar. So that's why it says, if Tim is being honest, and you're saying you have proof, and I'm saying that makes sense. Of course they're going to say his mom paid for the week. But you just said, Maritza, send me the proof you have. Scam romper, I wouldn't. That's why it says if he was being honest. I don't believe a single word he says. I don't believe a single word. Mitch, I don't doubt it. He never shows proof. If y'all recall, when I asked him to show proof of the letters that he got mailed from me, or that they got from McDonald's, saying that they were fired because of TikTok, which is what he was saying over and over and over again, he dropped me out of the box. And that's interesting because I was in his box when he put a false jacket on me, and I went in his box because I'm not afraid to go in a box and defend myself. If I'm wrong, I'll say, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. But he put a false jacket. I went in his box and said, it wasn't me that called. I don't do that. But then, just like with Fifi, I took the opportunity to say, but this is what I do know, and why haven't you shown proof? He stopped talking about those letters after that. I have no problem getting in a scammer's box and saying what I have to say. None whatsoever. And that is why it says, if Tim is being honest, do I believe what he says? Hell no. They lied about her having cancer. They've lied about so many things. But I don't want to say you're Nana B. then he wouldn't have a last check. Now see, that I will call a lie. Why would you go and apply for a job where you knew they got a letter? Correct, Ashley. That's why I said somebody's gonna be outside soon. I have seen them chill. It's hilarious. And he sounds just like Tim. He sounds just like him. And she said over there leaning on his leaning on his shoulder. So guys, it's 10 o'clock. That is all I have for today. Hi, Lisa. Well, I'm going to post, trust me, this is getting posted to YouTube as soon as possible. I'm not even sleepy right now. And I was up until 2 o'clock. But that's what happens when you charge my buttons. Good morning. Did you mean to come up?
Good morning. Yeah, real quick. I just want to put out real quick, and I want this to sink in with everybody. You choose who you want to follow. No way, no source is digital turnaround and telling anybody who to follow, who to watch. It's your choice. It's your freedom of choice who you want to watch. But, in the aspects of what you want to do with your platform and grow it and get bigger, that's also your choice too, and how you want to do it. But as a community working together collectively, and I agree with digital, we can at least stop the money trains for a lot of these beggars and scammers. And the last time I checked, I didn't realize that it was our responsibility to fund their lifestyles.
Nope.
So save your money for the ones that do matter, the ones that actually do count for what this app used to be for, and that was for content and to have fun. Your grit your list thing there, I loved it. That was a great idea, and I think you should expand on it and keep doing it because it gives everybody an opportunity to get involved,
Right.
and it gives them their opportunity to have their opinions.
Right.
So, but digital, keep up the good work. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, and so are you. I
Thanks.
appreciate you saying so.
Thanks. Take care, dear.
You too. So we will continue doing things the way that we have always been doing them. If you have suggestions for things that we should do in the future, something that you would like to see, somebody you would like for me to watch, I just want y'all to know I am slow with reading all of the comments. There's like a separate little thing where I haven't accepted people's um like accounts yet, and so they put it in a separate box. There are 395 messages in that separate box that has nothing to do with the people who are able to write me directly. So please be patient. I appreciate you all. Thank you for getting up with me in the morning, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you for being supportive of what we do as a collective. This isn't just me. Love on my mods. They do a fantastic job. I'm able to do what I do because of them. I don't have to stare at every single comment and reply to every single person. They do it for me sometimes. They keep the chat smooth so that everybody feels welcome. Everybody can be here. Please hug your loved ones because tomorrow isn't promised. And this world is getting more difficult to deal with, and some people think the only way out is to unalive themselves. It has nothing to do sometimes with their family, with their loved ones. They are just struggling with what life is doing today. So please do some self-care. And I've decided to add, if seeing a therapist or a psychiatrist is what you need to do it. You are putting your mental health before other things. It is important. Please. And if you can't spend 15 minutes, spend 10. If you can't spend 10, spend 5. And if you can't spend 5, please do 1 minute every day. It will eventually, oh, I'm sorry, Meow. It will eventually start to matter to you. If you gotta fake it till you make it, do it. And I don't usually do this, but on today, I have an outro song. Echo, play Fuck You by CeeLo Green.